Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1913A, and today's date is July 10th, 2019, and the title of the episode is The Mainstream Media Deep State Baited, Trap Set, Powell Confirmed It All Today. Now, before I get started, did you know that every year the U.S. Mint releases new coins into its America the Beautiful 5-ounce coin series? Incredibly, Noble Gold has managed to secure some. And as an Independence Day special, they're doing a combo of their own best-selling Trump 2020 Freedom 1-ounce silver coin with one of the America the Beautiful coins at a discount of $25 for the two during July or until they sell out of these coins. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com and use the code X22 Report 25 to receive this incredible discount. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Trump and the Patriots, they have done it. What have they done? They have trapped the Fed. The mainstream media took the bait. The deep state, they took the bait. The entire trap has been set. And Powell today confirmed exactly what we've been told. Gold will destroy the Fed. Powell even explained how this is all going to happen. We're going to be talking about that in just a minute. But we knew from the very beginning that Trump and the Patriots, they had full control over the Fed. Powell was giving testimony in front of Congress, and he said, no matter what we are looking at right now, doesn't matter that the jobs report looks good, we are still going to cut rates, most likely in July, maybe August. And many economists were out there saying they didn't think he was actually going to do it. And he is going to do it. Why? Because the Patriots are in control. This is not a game. This is about removing the central bank. And we know that Trump has two individuals that he nominated, that he's going to take these two individuals and put them into the Fed. Now, the original two individuals, I believe he did this on purpose. He knew that they weren't going to accept Canaan Moore. He knew that this was going to be a big problem, and I believe this was his strategy. Yes, I'm going to give you these two people. You're going to hate them. And then I'm going to give you the people I really want. Because right now, the Republicans, they're not that hostile over his picks. And they believe that Judy Shelton, she will be nominated, she'll be accepted, and she'll be on the board. And we know the mainstream media, we know the deep state, they do not want this to happen. Now, what's very interesting is that the mainstream media, they completely took the bait. What do I mean by this? Well, if you look at the article from CNN, it says Fed chair looks for backup from Congress amid Trump's onslaught. What has Trump been doing? He's been calling out the Fed, pointing the finger at Powell, saying, I'm going to fire him. I don't like what he's doing. The Fed has no clue in what they're doing. Now, remember, this was a complete setup. Remember Sessions. Now, a lot of people thought, oh, Sessions, he's a screw-up. Oh, Sessions not doing what he needs to be doing. Sessions did exactly what he needed to do. Trump played it up, and everybody wanted Sessions. Because later on, they're all going to find out what Sessions actually did. Started the investigation with Epstein, cleaned out the Department of Justice. And when they start to realize what Sessions was all about, well, it's not going to sit nicely with them. But think about Sessions and think about Powell. The mainstream media right now is backing him up, saying, listen, Trump is not going to fire you. We got you. Powell knows what he's doing. Don't worry about it. Or does he? This is exactly what Trump and the Patriots want. They want the mainstream media, the deep state. They want them to back Powell. And we see already with Larry Kudlow, he's out there and said, well, Powell's job is safe at the present time. And they're all worried that Trump is going to fire him. Why would he fire him at this point? He's doing exactly what Trump wants. Now, in another article, and this is coming out of CNN, it says, Inside the Fed's Hall of Mirrors Problem. And it reads as follows. The Federal Reserve has allowed itself to get backed into a corner by Wall Street. That means the central bank may need to slash interest rates, even if it doesn't want to. Markets believe a rate cut later this month is a slam dunk, and the Fed has done little to push back against that thinking. Keeping rates steady would create a market shock, one that could infect the real economy by denting confidence. Economists generally agree that the U.S. economy is decelerating from a period of strong growth, but there is a broad disagreement over just how severe the slowdown is and whether it merits a rate cut from the Fed. And they went on to say that because of what is happening, because of the job reports, the Fed shouldn't be cutting rates. It should be raising rates. Remember the tweet Trump put out there that the Fed doesn't know what they're doing. The mainstream media is now questioning what the Fed is doing. Think about that for a second. When the system comes tumbling down, the Fed will be blamed. Think about when the Fed goes ahead and they cut rates. They start stimulus. Now, the mainstream media is saying, listen, there's no reason to do this. Because during this period of time when we have a jobs report that's so great, the Fed should be actually raising rates. And a rate cut, that's not really going to benefit the economy. Now, when the entire system takes off because of the rate cut and stimulus, the mainstream media, well, they're going to be backed into a corner because they're saying that the Fed should be raising rates. But the Fed did what Trump wanted. After Trump is elected in 2020 and Trump allows the Fed to raise rates like the mainstream media wanted, this is when the economy will fail. This is when the mainstream media, where they said, hey, they should be raising rates because that will make the economy better. This is where the Fed is going to go off track with Trump, where they're saying, listen, you know something? We don't believe the rate cuts should stay. We believe we should start raising rates now because the economy is strong enough. Trump is going to say, listen, no, the rates have to be even lower than where we are today, and we need more stimulus. The Fed is going to do the opposite of what Trump is saying. Trump has already controlled the complete narrative of the Fed. And the Fed will be blamed. The mainstream media will be blamed because they're the ones who said we should raise rates. And believe me, Trump is going to bring this up. Now let's go back to when Powell was in front of Congress today and he was talking about the rate cuts. He was talking about gold. Yes, he did mention gold. And Powell told Congress that he doesn't think a return to the gold standard in the U.S. would be a good idea. He said, you've assigned us the job of two direct real economy objectives: maximum employment, stable prices, which means no inflation. If you assigned us to stabilize the dollar price of gold, monetary policy could do that, but the other things would fluctuate and we wouldn't care. Powell said that we wouldn't care if unemployment went down or up. That wouldn't be our job anymore. What they're doing here is they're paving the way to introduce gold. Now remember what the Fed is saying, what Powell is saying. He doesn't think a return to the gold standard in the U.S. would be a good idea. Now, you might be saying, well, of course, the central bank doesn't like gold. But this was done on purpose. Because once the Fed is blamed for bringing down the system, everyone is going to say, hey, well, if they messed up the economy and they're telling us that gold wouldn't be good, then gold must be good for the economy. Because Powell said, if you assigned us to stabilize the dollar price of gold, monetary policy could do that. But the other things would fluctuate and we wouldn't care. He said we wouldn't care if unemployment went down or up. That wouldn't be our problem anymore. That wouldn't be their job. And remember, the Fed, they haven't been doing their job. If their mandate is to keep inflation at zero, which means the dollar doesn't lose value, have they been doing their job? Have they been following the mandate? No. This question was asked on purpose. And it was to get gold out into the public's mind. When the Fed fails and Trump turns around and blames the Fed for destroying the economy, everything that the Fed has said, everything that the Fed has been saying to the people, it will all turn out to be fake, phony, and false. Because once the system fails, there'll be an audit. The audit will show that the Fed did not stick to the mandate. It will show the Fed purposely, because of the way their system is designed, it allow the dollar to devalue. And everything the Fed is telling us now about gold would be damaging to the economy, we shouldn't use gold, everything will be then reversed, because everyone will look at the Fed and say, okay, we're not listening to anything they said, and we need to go back on the gold standard. That's why Judy Shelton is being placed into the Fed. Gold is going to be used to stabilize everything. What Trump and the Patriots did is they are setting up the Fed to take the fall. It's a process where you need to bring this out to the public. You need to have the Fed out there saying, this is our mandate. Gold is no good. You have to have the Fed do exactly what Trump says and have the economy do fantastically well. Then you have to have the Fed go off track with Trump while Trump is saying, don't do this, and the Fed goes ahead and they raise rates and the economy starts to fail. This is the setup. And gold will be introduced to stabilize the currency. They took the bait. We are now moving forward with the economic plan. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.